What is going on, YouTube? Today we have the Girsan Regard MC. Just going to do some initial thoughts and impressions. This is the first Girsan / EAA product that I have ever purchased, and it is a Turkish clone imported by EAA of the Beretta, I believe M9A1 series or 92 series. I'm sure somebody can correct me on that. Moving into it, I did have some time to take a look at this, and it does just come with the case, as you see here, the lock, trigger lock or box lock, whatever you want to call it, wire brush for cleaning, which you will need, and I'll get into that a little bit more. The gun itself, a 18 round Mekgar magazine, which is pretty nice quality. I'd like to see that. We will check for clear here. As you can see, we are good to go. So moving forward into the kind of quality and initial impressions. Overall, fit and finish is very nice. Whatever this Cerakote or coating is, it is covering all the major parts. It looks great. There's really no coverage issues or changing in the color. It's all very consistent. And overall, I quite like it. I did notice when taking it apart that in the dust cover where the guide rod sits, there is a little missed section down here in the center. Not that big of a deal for me. It is an aluminum lower, so oxidization, rust, that kind of thing is not going to be that big of a deal. But for some of you who knows, just wanted to bring it up. And then also on the back of the slide, kind of near the end here, I don't know if it's going to get picked up by the camera or not, but there's just a tiny little nick right here, which again, not much of a deal breaker. I got mine for about $3.75 out the door. That was from a local box store, sporting goods store for me. They had a sale going on, and I really could not pass up on this. I've heard a lot of different things about these, and I just decided that I wanted to see for myself. So this is basically, again, a clone of a Beretta 92 series, the full size. It does have the double action, single action trigger in here, and it comes with the decocker / safety, which is when it's in single action mode, you can decock it, it stays in safety, and it deactivates the trigger so it is unusable. Now, I might change that out. I have read that you can swap that to the G model, which turns it into decocker only. That would be more of my preference, but again, we'll kind of see. I have some ideas in the future to mess with this, including working on the trigger, swapping these grips, which are kind of fine. They're more aggressive than I thought, but definitely could use like some G10 style grips, I think, especially with these finger grooves, which I don't mind. They fit my hand pretty good, but there is zero texture. It's very smooth, so I just have a feeling like that's going to jump out of my hand at the range. Have not shot this yet, but overall, liking my first impressions of it. Slide fitment is pretty good. There is a tiny bit of wiggle there. Nothing crazy. I wouldn't say it's any more than like your average striker fired gun. It's not like going to be, you know, a staccato or a 2011, but overall, pretty good fitment. I would say it's pretty close to my 229s, I'd say. So not bad. Moving on to the sights, we have a fixed sight, basically molded from the frame here. Can't change that out, so that's just going to be what it is. And then on the rear, actually, we have a plastic 3-dot setup going on here, which I'm hoping I can get some aftermarket sights for. We'll look into that as well, see what I can do in that regard. Magazine release, pretty easy to activate, no issues there. Slide lock is pretty easy. And then the slide is a little rough right now. A lot of people say these should be buttery smooth, so again, before I take mine out, I'm going to do a full teardown, clean it up, re-lube it, and see if it's any better. Hopefully throwing some 124 NATO loads through this will also kind of help do that. Now, getting into the trigger, I'm just going to start in double action here. This is a pretty mixed bag for me. The double action is extremely heavy, and it does have a pretty long pull, which is pretty good for safety reasons. If you want to carry this, which honestly it's a little big for me, but I've seen people do it. You know, you want a heavy double action. So we get like kind of a half cock situation here, which is kind of a nice feature. I wasn't even aware this was a thing, so interesting feature there. But it does have like some kind of creeping going on there, or stacking, and I don't know if you can hear it, so I'm gonna be quiet and try to actuate this. So I don't know if you can hear this, but so there it actually actuates, and I don't know if you heard any of that. I don't know, like spring tension, binding or something going on there, but something to note. Again, it's very heavy. This is probably over 12 pounds or about at 12 pounds. A lot of creep, a lot of stacking, and you can't even feel the wall really, and it just breaks. So that is the double action trigger. Now, that sounds kind of rough to start out, but when you get into the single action trigger, it's a lot better. We have a lot of take up here, which is free floating. There's really no issue, no grinding, no stacking, no nothing. Clear and defined wall here. And then basically your brake, which I've measured at 6 to 6.5 pounds, which is very consistent and pretty decent. We'll do your reset here. There is a decent amount of travel, as you can see. And then a clear defined wall, or reset I should say, and then again we can go back, hit the wall, and fire again. So single action trigger, pretty dang good. I actually really kind of like that. It is a little on the heavy side, but again, I guess if this was like a duty style pistol, it's kind of what you'd come to expect. I do actually intend to try to swap in some Langdon tactical parts here. That's going to be later down the road. I do want to put a couple hundred rounds through this as is stock, just to kind of give it, you know, see what it's all about, see what actually needs to do or get replaced, and just to see if it loosens up or breaks up over time. I also kind of plan on changing these grips out, seeing if they are compatible with any other Beretta style grips, you know, some simple G10 style grip or something like that. Get a little more texture there, and just see if that helps out at all. Finally, might also change the decocker mechanism from the decocker safety to the G model, which is decocker only. Again, I've read that that works, but I haven't actually tried it, so we can all kind of learn that on a future video. But overall, I really like the fit and finish. I can't wait to go out to shoot it tomorrow and see how it feels. Again, I'm going to do a full teardown and clean it and just make sure it's all good to go. But for $375 for a full metal gun, it feels hefty in the hand. It feels good. You get a solid magazine. I have several Mech-Gar magazines for my 229s, and they have never given me any problems at all. So yeah, I think that's going to be it for this video. This is basically, again, just a quick overview, initial thoughts and impressions, and again, more to come, so stick around. Thanks.